Hello. Welcome to your double dose of daily trudge. That is a mouthful. Double dose of daily trudge. It's not bad. We're going to be talking about spirituality, in particular, God. We're going to be talking about God here. All right. What's this one? I got to check it out. Oh, it's low. Okay. No thanks. Should we go with the stars? Stars. Stars. That's from Resident Evil. When what's his name? Oh God, I'll remember the bad guy's name. It's in the movies too. But he goes after Stars members, which is just like an elite cop. An elite copard. All right. All right. So, let's go ahead and do introductions. Get started. I don't have too much other stuff to screw around with. So, welcome, Daily Trudge. My name's Gian. I'm here. Are you? If you're here, please feel free to say hello, whether watching live or the rewatch. Something different about here. You know, I have a lot of followers. I don't know what you would consider a lot. You know, I've got a few hundred followers. I think I got more than that. I don't really know. Let's just say it's 1,000. I don't even know. But I do know that I have the quietest following ever. I do. People watch my reels, right? Like we're talking 63, 112, 90, 127, 119. Nobody comments. I might get a heart every now and again. I might get a heart every now and again. All right. Now, usually no news is good news, right? So thankfully I do it a certain way because I think a lot of people would get I mean, it happened to me, but I finally figured out, you get disappointed when nobody shows up, right? You do a live, all these people are excited for you. Nobody shows up because you did it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday while everybody's busy. It's the worst time to go live. Saturday afternoon, right? But you can get to a place where if you're doing like what I do, it doesn't need to be popularity. If I'm helping one person, if this video ends up helping one person, whether it's through a clip or something else, then it's worth it. Right. And if we can have that kind of mindset, then we're doing well. Oops. I had something set up, but then I asked when the next Bronco game was. So, all right. So we're going to go to AI. What's the difference between religion and spirituality? Now, before we get to that, I'm going to cover kind of what I think first. After clean up my video here. Been a while since that happened. There we go. Switch it over to standard definition. So first, this is not going to be. Okay, this isn't a religion versus spirituality. Yeah, there used to be a saying in AA, went around a lot, and I'm glad that it stopped. Even though I believe I jumped on this wagon for a long time too. Religion is trying not to go to hell, and spirituality is going to heaven. It's something like that. Where we're saying, well, religious people are da da da. No. You got to see where religious people are right. We got it. There can't be division in this. Now there are certain differences between religion and spirituality. But we cannot be biased against religion either. That's another bias. No, we have got to work in cooperation with them. How many churches out there hold AA meetings for us? And most times they don't even charge us. Celebrate Recovery, they always use churches, right? They're more, but see, that's more, Celebrate Recovery is, it's like the 12 steps, but it is religious. Right? In other words, they follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. Okay. Right? But all of my spirituality has come from, is stolen from different religions and other spirituality. The main difference is choice. It's choice. Right? So, religion is typically an organized system of belief, rituals, and practices centered around a higher power or sacred texts, where spirituality is a personal internal quest for meaning, connection to something greater than oneself, and inner growth that can exist or without formal religion. Now, at the same time, here, even spirituality has beliefs, rituals. We have these in AA. Sure, we do. What are the principles of Alcoholics Anonymous? Our rituals. How do we open our prayers? Don't you always hear the AA preamble first? Don't people don't they ask for newcomers? And they're for some of us, the formats are all the same. We start with the Serenity Prayer. We hand out chips. We read from the Big Book. These are rituals. The difference here is kind of the beliefs. Now, I've been in a lot of meetings and not one person has ever told me how I need to believe. Never. But I have gone to church and that has happened to me often. Oh, that's not the right way. That's not the right. No, we got to, it's the approach. It's the personal freedom. See, for some people, religion, they feel their freedom in that religion, and that's not for me to take away. I know a lot of great religious people. I certainly do. But almost every single one of them are verging on spirituality. But their medium is Christianity, or, not to mention that AA is, every single religion is represented in Alcoholics Anonymous. Absolutely it is. We're not going to take away from your beliefs and your rituals. If there's something that you do, if maybe you're Jewish and it's Friday, so you can't use your electricity or what, again, we respect that stuff in AA. And if it's not respected, then you're not very spiritual, just so you know. Right. It can, meetings can sometimes feel that way. But it's the freedom that we allow in Alcoholics Anonymous that allows you to choose your own higher power, because there's power in that. Not only that, but as an alcoholic, everything was taken from you. All choice, every choice in your life was taken from you. Now here we are deciding a higher power, and what do we give you? Choice. Because there's power in choice. Right? There's power in choice. This morning I woke up, I chose to go to God instead of the liquor store. Extremely powerful. Yeah. You get to make the decision on how you want to believe. Yeah. And we don't argue that fact. That works for you. Awesome. I might give that a try. All right. Now, that doesn't mean that religious people don't do that either. Okay. There are just as many bad apples in AA as there are in religion. And who's to say that they're a bad apple? Why don't we just let them be who they are? We can go for that, right? Spirituality is often seen as a broader and more individualized. Yeah. Focusing on personal experience and connection to the universe, whereas religion offers a community-based institutional framework for its connection. Key differences. Structure. Religion is more structured, not true. Okay, now I asked it spirituality. I didn't ask it for AA. Okay, if I would have brought AA into this, I think we would have gotten a little bit of a different answer. Okay, because AA is very structured. Okay, institutional system. We are not that. With established doctrines, rituals, and community of followers. We are certainly that, though, aren't we? Sure, we are. We do all of that. Except your doctrines and rituals are yours. That's the difference. See, there's that power and choice again. Because for an alcohol, okay, here's a big difference in why it works. Okay, because religion usually tells you what to do, where spirituality will suggest things to you. And you make the choice. You make the choice on the way that you're going to believe, what you want to believe in. It might not even be the right thing in the beginning, okay? Because eventually, group of drunks and these other TLAs that we have for God are only going to work for so long till you got to find your own higher power. If you want to start out with a doorknob or whatever, that's fine. But sooner or later, you got to find God. Okay? Somebody didn't like that. They're like, I'm out of here. Focus. Religions focus on specific deities. Yeah. Sacred texts and communal practices. Spirituality focuses on a personal experience of divine inner growth and a sense of connection to life or the universe, right? So mine started out in a karmic fashion. That's how I started. You do good things happen. You do bad things, and bad things happen. That's how I started. And it worked. It worked. But eventually, I would find my own higher power. But that took a little bit of time. Like any relationship, time was kind of a factor because that builds trust and respect and consistency and things like that. And the more I saw how much God was protecting me, the more I was willing to do, the more I was willing to go out into the world and help, right? Focus. Religion focuses on, I think we already did that. Yeah. Autonomy versus dogma. Spirituality emphasizes individual autonomy and the freedom to define one's own connection to the sacred. Religion often involves adhering to established beliefs and practices with less room for deviation. Okay, so our principles are a lot like this. But whereas in religion, they're all kind of following one line, we're all on the same broad highway, but we're having different experiences. We're doing different things. We have different things going on in our lives, and we allow for that, right? Just like another big one is we don't have somebody that stands up at a podium and gives us direction for an hour. We all do that. We sit in a circle so it's more equal rather than one person standing above. That has an effect on people, right? Even in a lot of AA meetings, and I really think we should kind of get back to that, in-person meetings where you go up to the podium and you speak. It's a lot different when you're standing up there, all eyes are on you because we're only facing forward. And put away your phones, please. All right. Community versus individual. Religious provides a communal context, shared beliefs and practices. Spirituality is often an individual endeavor centered on personal introspection and exploration. CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. That's what that would be. All right. Relationship between the two. I like this. Complementary. I like that. Right? Because the main point of me actually talking on this wasn't to sit here and say religion's bad, spirituality's good. No. I'm saying these things can coexist. One of my great friends is a pastor. I didn't think that was going to happen. I remember one of the first conversations we had because she was like, "Yeah, younger people, they're just not coming to church." I said, nobody wants to hear about how you're going to hell for breathing the wrong way. They don't want it, they will not tolerate it anymore. Okay. She's like, I don't preach that way. And then I found out that she believes in God the same way I believe in God. Wow. It's the same process. I'll have conversations with her, and she's like, Dion, you remind me of this in the Bible, that in the Bible. See how all of this is connected? It's together. But if God can present it to you a different way, maybe He didn't want you to go the Christian route. Maybe He wanted you to find your own spirituality. So He made you an alcoholic. Wasn't He? He was thinking of you, right? Many people find ways to integrate both being religious and spiritual, using their faith to deepen their personal connection to something sacred. I didn't think I was ever going to go back to church. Now I run sound at the church down the street when they need me. That's the only time I go. But every now and again, hey Dion, we need somebody to run sound. Yeah, I'm willing to do that. I'm happy to do that. Right. Usually I was just doing it because Marcia was there, my friend Marcia. Right. Now I do it if I'm called. And listen, and I'm going to start calling my sponsees trudgies, fellow trudgies. Those are now what I'm going to call sponsees, trudgies and trudgors. I'm the trudgor. They're the trudgy. But I was saying in the meeting yesterday, he said, because of my sponsor reintroducing me to God, now I didn't really do any work but introduce them. I found church enjoyable again. It was just nice to hear, man. It made me feel good. Yeah. Independent. It is possible to be a spiritual being without being religious, pursuing a personal sense of purpose and connection outside any formal religious training. Conversely, a person can be religious without necessarily feeling a deep personal spiritual connection. It just depends on who you are. But I do know this, and I'll kind of end with this. God is everything. God can be anything. God is everything. So therefore, He is all of this, or she, or it, whatever we want to call it. I don't know. Never met them. I have no idea what they look like or anything. I don't. But if God could be everything, that means that He could be something for you too. Right? All right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a day.